He is a researcher and a holder of the PhD degree. Born in November 1963, and after his preliminary studies, joined the army, graduated from Nanjing Army Command College, PLA. He worked as a lecturer at the National Defense University, the NDU, before taking over the appointment as Deputy Chief of the Institute of Strategic Studies at the NDU. Senior Colonel Go is a visiting scholar in the Institute for the Study of Diplomacy in Georgetown University, Washington, USA. He has written many academic papers such as Studies on Deng Xiaoping International Strategic Thought, A Survey of the International Strategic Science, Competition in Asia-Pacific Region, Development and Evolvement of Sino-US Relations, and Panorama of Asia-Pacific Strategy, just to name a few. Today he will be presenting this paper on Sri Lanka as a hub in Asia, global perspective. Senior Colonel, you have 15 minutes for your presentation. Please take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Excellencies, distinguished participants for the symposium, dear friends, very good morning to you. It's my great honor to have a chance to participate in this important symposium. Actually, it's my first time in this beautiful country, and I should express my heartfelt thanks to the host for inviting me to come to this symposium so that I have a chance to come to this beautiful country. I was assigned to address the topic of Sri Lanka as a hub in Asia, a global perspective. Actually, it's a very difficult topic for me to address it within 15 minutes. Actually, in the past years, more than 20 years, my focus of research have been focusing on Northeast Asia rather than South Asia. But anyway, after receiving the invitation, I have done some homework about that. I hope I can offer my personal understanding of the topic. From my personal point of view, to analyze the topic, it is better to give a ground perspective. I will begin with my observations of the strategic significance of the Indian Ocean. From a historical perspective, seas and oceans have played an extremely important role in the development of human society. In ancient times, the Mediterranean Sea for long served as the center of the Western world. The rise of the US in the 21st century led to the central role of the Atlantic Ocean in world economy and politics. After the end of the Cold War, there have been a lot of predictions that a Pacific century is emerging. From the sequence of historical developments, it is not difficult to find that the center of gravity of human society has been evolving in a westward manner. So if the momentum continues, Indian Ocean will become the next center of gravity of human society in the future. Maybe it is just a coincidence of history. However, we have good reasons to believe that the Indian Ocean will be of greater geostrategic importance. First, the Indian Ocean occupies a special strategic position in maritime transportation in the world. Major sea lines of communication are crossing the Indian Ocean, connecting Europe, the Middle East, East Africa, East Asia, South Asia, and Oceania. As a matter of fact, the Indian Ocean is considered as one of the most important global trading thoroughfares. Second, the Indian Ocean region has got great potential for future economic development. being at the center between thriving economies in the East Asia and the Indian subcontinent, and within the oil-rich Gulf area, the Indian Ocean region occupies a strategic position that can provide comparative advantages of economic opportunities. Combined with a vast consumer market and trade prospects within the rim of the Indian Ocean, the region will prove to be an economic dynamic region. Third, regional countries in the Indian Ocean are rich in natural resources, especially oil and gas. So actually that's the figures, data regarding to oil production and oil reserve, as well as gas reserve and gas production in the region. Fourth, geopolitically, the Indian Ocean can be seen as the strategic gateway linking the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, as well as the critical joint linking Europe, Africa with East Asia and Oceania. A UK admiral once said that there are 5 keys that locked the world, namely the Strait of Dover, Strait of Gibraltar, Suez Canal, Strait of Malacca, the Cape of Good Hope. The Indian Ocean with 3 strategic seas is thus the focus of strategic and political attention due to its strategic importance. So, Alfred Mahan once said that whoever controls the Indian Ocean dominates Asia. This ocean is the key to 7 seas. In the 21st century, the destiny of the world will be decided on its waters. So that's the picture of the major choke points in the Indian Ocean. So after giving a macro account of the strategic importance of the Indian Ocean, it will be much easier to have a clear picture of the geostrategic position Sri Lanka holds. Sri Lanka is located at a very strategic point in the Indian Ocean, where sea lanes of communication meet. It is widely accepted that Sri Lanka is a pole in the Indian Ocean. In view of the complicating strategic environment in the 21st century, both in aspects of regional economy, regional security, Sri Lanka, as a hub in Asia, will have ever-enhancing strategic importance. In terms of economy, Sri Lanka can serve as the bridge between and among major economic entities. Sri Lanka enjoys a favorable geo-economic position. To its east are the economically dynamic East Asian countries, including China, the second largest economy in the world, Japan, the third largest economy of the world, and emerging economies like Indonesia, Vietnam, and etc. East Asia is seen as the new engine of the world economy. To its north is a subcontinent that has got great potential in economic development, as proved by the rapid economic growth of India in the past decade. India is inching its way to become one of the top 5 in the next decade. To its west is oil-rich Gulf regions and Africa, a continent that have got promising economic opportunities. The strategic significance in global economy of Sri Lanka is particularly reflected in its critical position in the sea lanes of communication. Great majority of the trade between Europe and East Asia, between Africa and East Asia, and between West Asia and East Asia have been passing through the sea lanes off the coast of Sri Lanka. In terms of security, Sri Lanka is located in the vicinity of a region that has been haunted by wars and conflicts. The international security environment is dynamic and uncertain, with recurrent disputes, crises, and conflicts in many regions after the end of the Cold War. The Indian Ocean is seen by some observers as an area of conflicts. Actually, according to a recent analysis of global conflicts by the Heidelberg Institute for International Conflict Research, altogether 42% of the world conflicts can be associated with the Indian Ocean countries. Aside from various conflicts, the region is also in phase with serious maritime problems, to name some: piracy, illegal trafficking of arms and human beings, the security of sea lanes of communication. Sri Lanka, located in a critical juncture in the Indian Ocean, will inevitably attract the attentions of various parties inside and outside the region. As a consequence of its geopolitical importance, Sri Lanka will meet with both opportunities and challenges. Let me first come to opportunity. Important strategic position can be transferred into opportunities for Sri Lanka. From a personal point of view, first, regional and external powers will spare no efforts in improving their relations with Sri Lanka so as to enhance their influence in the Indian Ocean. This, in turn, will naturally provide Sri Lanka chances to upgrade its role in regional affairs as well as improve its security environment after decades of struggle against LTTE. Second, the momentous economic development in East Asia and South Asia will provide Sri Lanka with promising economic prospects. In the past 30 years or so, the economies in East Asia and South Asia have enjoyed tremendous achievements in development, and it is observed that the momentum can be kept unless reliable natural resources be supplied and the sea lanes of communication be undisrupted. As a critical hub in the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka will benefit from such a position. Trans-Indian Ocean trade will be a very strong engine for the economy of Sri Lanka. The emerging economies in East Asia will seek reliable channels of transportation of commodities and resources. In that regard, Sri Lanka is a good option for investment. So Sri Lanka can ride on the rise of East Asia and South Asia emerging economies if proper strategies be formulated and implemented. Third, intractable security issues in the region will provide a broad space of diplomacy for Sri Lanka. There exist a lot of security issues in surrounding areas in the Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka is not a party directly involved in all these issues and hence brings a special position. As a medium-sized nation, it is relatively easier for Sri Lanka to win the trust from related parties because no one would have doubts about its strategic intentions. More important, Sri Lanka has maintained good relations with almost all the directly involved parties. In short, Sri Lanka will be in a better position to do good office work and provide the platform for diplomatic and peaceful solution for the disputes. Now, let me come to challenges. Opportunities are usually accompanied by challenges. As a hub in Asia, Sri Lanka will be in face with some unavoidable challenges. I have got following challenges in mind. First is how to avoid becoming the focus of rivalry or competition among major powers. Actually, you can understand the situation much better than I do. Second, how to meet with possible external interference. Actually, in the past years, during your war, your civil war, your domestic conflict against LTTE, external forces have been doing some things that is unfavorable for Sri Lanka. So in the future, I'm sure there will be some kind of various forms of interference from external forces. Third, how to handle maritime security problems. As I have explained, actually, the Indian Ocean is a very important thoroughfare for transportation. So maritime issues, security issues will be of greater and greater importance in the future. And the international society will have high expectation for India to shoulder more responsibilities. But the problem is that how to balance your national interest and your capacity in that regard. So that will be a kind of challenge. Finally, I wish to talk a little bit about Sino-Sri Lanka relationship. Actually, by common efforts of our two countries, the relationship and friendship between Sri Lanka has maintained steady pace of development since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1957. I still remember the help China received from Sri Lanka government and people when it was in a very difficult economic and security situation in the 1950s. At that time, China was in a state of isolation in the international society imposed by Western countries led by the USA. There is a proverb that goes like this: a friend in need is a friend indeed. Our two countries are true friends that have been proved by the development of history and cruel reality of the international system. As of today, our bilateral relationship has been developed in an all-around way and comprehensive manner. In the international politics, we have been supporting each other on issues related to our respective vital national interests. In economic views, we are close partners. So far as I know, China is the largest trade partner in Asia for Sri Lanka. In area of security, we have maintained a sound state of bilateral cooperation. High-level visits have been conducted frequently, and our two sides have kept close consultation on issues of mutual concern. Our two militaries have been cultivating the ground for cooperation in training and education. All in all, the relationship between our two countries is now in the best state. Looking into the future, there is a wide space for further development. Our two sides have reached consensus of establishing a partnership of strategic cooperation. I strongly believe that the relationship between our two countries will be further consolidated and will have a bright future. With that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for your attention.